Good morning, Fit Fam. This is Stefan, and today we will be talking about the difference between RPE and percentage-based training and how you can decide which type can aid you in your training, and whether or not you would like to add both of them to use interchangeably. So the difference between RPE and percentage-based training is percentage-based training is more of a logical approach to assessing and prescribing where your current maxes will be, depending on whether you're using barbell movements, kettlebell movements, or specifically speed, quickness, or agility movements. RPE is rate of perceived exertion, which is more emotional and feeling based in nature. Percentage based training is more logical, it's more rigid, there's not more leeway when you do it. RPE gives you more leeway and encompasses more of a broader scope of where your fatigue might be. So let's say, for example, you come in and you have a prescribed RPE number. It will encompass the entire day's level of fatigue, as well as fatigue that might have been accumulated in throughout the entire block of training. Whereas in percentage-based training, you can get the same kind of programming and ebb and flow of when your numbers are going to be, but it's more set in stone. So, for example, let's say I come in and I have RPE 7. And let's say my max is 500 pounds. That RPE 7 for me could be anywhere from 400 pounds to 300 pounds, depending on how I'm currently feeling and how much fatigue I've built up. Whereas, let's say you come in and you have a percentage-based training program, you might have 70% of your max. And no matter how you feel, you have 70% of your max. There might be a little bit of leeway. Some coaches, they'll give a range if they're doing percentage-based training, anywhere from like 65 to maybe like 75%. They give like a 10% buffer room. But that, in a general overview, is kind of a full scope of the difference between RPE and percentage-based training. Now, what I personally think should be added to athletes or regular gym goers training program is a mixture of both. And I say this because everyone thinks a little bit differently, and the psychological aspect of a lifter or an athlete comes very much into play when you're designing a customized and a unique training program. For example, let's say you have a lifter or an athlete and they're very conservative. You might give them high RPE numbers, but they're never able to progress because they're always leaving a little bit in the tank. Or you might have an athlete and they're extremely aggressive. They always want to push the needle. And so you might give them light RPE numbers, and even still they continually overshoot. Some people, from a psychological aspect, have to be approached differently. And so really this comes from you really understanding your lifter and understanding the individual on a deeper level, because this gives you the ability to decide whether or not, okay, should I give them more deliberate percentage-based training and really tell them what they should hit, or can I trust and give them more so the leeway to kind of decide what they should do? Me, from a personal perspective, I love to push the needle. I'm an aggressive type of lifter when it comes to my training. And so I will give myself percentage-based training, and so I can hold back. But I coach athletes, and I've dealt with lifters who they're more conservative. So I've subscribed them percentage-based training just so that, hey man, like, you have to hit this number because you never try to push the needle. You always leave a little bit more in the tank than what's there. So this kind of gives people the opportunity to still be conservative when they need to, but still also push the needle as well. most training programs, they will focus on one or the other, but I've seen tremendous improvements in encompassing both. Also, education is very important. You want your lifters or your athletes to truly understand what RPE is or what percentage-based training is from a fundamental perspective. So when you're explaining RPE, a lot of people, when they first hear RPE explained, they're like, okay, I hear the numbers, I hear this, but I don't really get it. And so if you want to go even deeper, you say, hey, look, you have the right side of your brain, you have the left side of your brain. Some people are more right side brain thinkers, and so they're able to tap in to their emotional state. They're more feeling state. They're more feelings and things along those lines. They're more in tune with what's going on in more aspects of their body. More so left brain thinkers, they're more logical in perspective, meaning that they're more numbers based. So you see, like, they're thinking, a lot of tech guys, data scientists and things along those lines, they see numbers and data. So if you're dealing with someone who's more of that right brain thinker and you're like, all right, RPE is more so the best approach for you, then you're thinking, okay, we'll go by feeling, we'll go by numbers, the RPE scale and things along those lines. But if you're dealing with someone who's more of that left brain type of thinker, then you can go by pure data. Someone who's a left brain thinker, kind of like me, I've known the number I'm gonna hit in the gym like 3 weeks out. I have data, and I will say my numbers are like, okay, I'm gonna hit a max in like 3 weeks, and in that 3 weeks, I hit that number because I had the data and by the numbers and how my body was responding, I was able to do that. But I've had athletes who are feeling based. They were in the gym and they was like, hey man, I feel like I can hit a max today. No data, no nothing, just going straight by feel. It was like, yeah, I think I can add like 5-10 pounds. And so having and understanding the psychological aspect of your lifters, that'll unlock a whole new level of programming, not just for athletes or clients, but also for yourself and your fitness. Because once you understand your psychological makeup, now that'll aid you in your training. Now you'll be able to know, okay, when should I take a deload? Okay, when can I push? Okay, when, should I really optimize my recovery and my nutrition? Okay, how much sleep should I get? Okay, what time of the day should I train? Am I more of a morning workout person or an evening workout person? Me personally, I do not like working out in the morning. I like working out about mid-afternoon on to the evening. That's when my brain really begins to wake up and turn on. Some people, they're the morning workout warriors. So really, in whatever you are, that's fine. But in understanding that will aid you progressively as you go forward. If you found this of value, click like, click subscribe. If you want more helpful content along with fitness, health and wellness, and just training in general, check out my Instagram, check out my TikTok, check out my even my Twitter. I'll post some random content on Twitter every now and then. If you need any more in-depth content, I do personal one-on-one training.